Hello, I'm Robert, and you're welcome here in my busy little shop. On today's episode of What's on My Workbench, you can see behind me I've got a bunch of leather here. There's 7 sides of leather here, and some what I think are some really pretty colors of leather. This leather is a pre-dyed vegetable tan leather, and it's from Montana Leather. It's called Vaqueta leather, and the idea behind that is a lot of people find dyeing leather messy, and I've kind of gotten used to doing that, especially on belts. It's easy when you're running a strap through there, but if I'm making something larger, a tote, a purse, a bag, it gets more difficult to run that through there. So I was intrigued with the idea of this leather, and I had purchased a side of this leather in Prescott at the last trade show there, and it was in a blue, this color here. This is 2 to 3 ounce, and that was 8 to 9 ounce leather. And they asked me if I would do a series of projects that I'm actually going to send to them. They're going to put on display with this leather to showcase how well it works. And I said, yeah, I'd be willing to do that, but I'm going to give my honest opinion on whether I think the leather is any good or not. So the first thing I did, I was curious to see how it would tool. Did adding dye to leather dramatically change the toolability of it? So I created this piece here. Hopefully it's focused in the right area. And this is the obviously the red. And there's not any antiquing, any additional dye added to this. All I did was tool this and put a coat of Reslin on it. So that's the outcome of that. So this was just a quick test of the product, and I've got a bunch of projects in mind. I'm gonna make, I think, a lady's clutch. I've got a couple of knife sheath ideas to make, but you're gonna see a series of videos where I showcase this leather. And it cased, to me, the same as a regular vegetable tan leather. The fact that it was dyed did not seem to affect the ability for it to case, and I think it didn't affect it didn't affect the ability for it to get a burnish. I think it turned out nice. This is what it looked like in the roll, and then once I have it tooled and Reslin on it, you've got the end result. So I wanted to be up front and clear about that. I'm not being paid to do that. I'll have leftover leather, obviously. But they're getting projects that are worth, what a side of leather would cost. And speaking of price, so I looked at it, the pricing is really in line with what you would pay for a natural VegTan leather. So, I've got black here, and to me it's easy to, to dye a black belt. But, like I said earlier, a lot of people don't want the mess of it, and I'm out in the garage. So for me to have a little bit of a mess out here isn't the same thing if I'm working in, say, the living room. So if I was, in a smaller space and didn't want to deal with the smell and the mess of the dye, then, I could buy a side of black, a side of brown, and make myself a series of black and brown belts using that. Now, it's dyed, so it's not like a chrome tan where you don't really typically get any color off of it. You're going to have to do something to the leather to protect it or to protect you from getting dye on your clothes. So I just thought I would send a quick little short email out this morning on the leather that I received from Montana Leather. And I've got, like I said, I've got a series of videos, and at times I'll put a logo in the bottom right-hand corner of those videos so that you know that this is the leather from Montana that I'm working with here. So I hope you are having a great day, have a great week. Please like, share, and subscribe, but more importantly, have a great day.